What is up, our human people out there? Welcome to Believe in the Dallas Cowboys. I am me, Jeff Cavanaugh, that is, and he is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing well, brother. How about yourself?
I am living the life, paying the bills. And one way that I do that, Jesse, I don't know if you know how I pay the bills.
Your OnlyFans page.
One way I do that is with my foot pick. So I'm my OnlyFans and my
Mhm.
YouTube page, my Twitch page, and all those things. Facebook. No, Facebook doesn't give me money, but I let people in anyway on Facebook because I'm a nice guy. No, I pay the bills by letting you know that this show is brought to you by Bet Online, our friends at
Oh
Bet
yeah,
Online.
That
Yeah,
too.
you can get 100% welcome bonus with your first deposit if you use the promo code BLEAV. Believe, just like it's written at the top of this video. BLEAV, 100% welcome bonus. The Cowboys are playing the Lions. Dak's coming back. I'd just take out a second mortgage, maybe do a cash out, put everything you got on the Cowboys. That is not gambling advice. But betonline.ag, they got the latest odds, matchup info, player news, game trends, all that for every sport you could possibly imagine. And they're supporters of the show. Shout out to our friends at BetOnline. Use the promo code BLEAV. Believe. Cowboy things. Dak is back, and Jesse, I'm going to start this off on a positive, and this is just a statement. It's not even a question. This is going to be the first game of the season where the Cowboys score 30 plus. Agree or disagree?
I disagree because all my predictions I had them at like 24, 25 points.
Have you watched the Lions?
I have.
Okay. These sons of biscuits, they can actually kind of play offense. But boy, when I tell you that defense is hideous. Now, if you're picking 24 or 25, are you picking the Cowboys to play conservative style football and kind of keep the reins on?
I do. I mean, I don't think this is going to be Madden where you just plug guys in who've been out for the last 5 weeks with a hand injury. To me, that's a little bit concerning to me. So I think the early approach will be let's run the football, let's control the clock, let's not get out of what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. And then if things are going the way you want it to go, maybe you get a lead, then you kind of open it up a little bit. But I don't think they're going to come out the gates and just be like, woohoo, all of a sudden we're scoring 30 points a game again.
I think even running the ball, they can get to, because obviously when we say running the ball, if I say the Cowboys are going to run the hell out of the ball, that means they're going to run the ball 45% of the time. But like even if they run the hell out of the ball, like Detroit is allowing, I believe, 5.5 yards per carry. It's wild. You look at their offense, you're like, wow, 7.3 yards per pass. That's good. Lions running the ball 5.4 a carry. Holy crap, that's got to be the best in football. And then they give up more per pass play than they get, and they give up more per run play than they get. And here's my thing about Dak. I'm a Dak lover, so I'm setting myself up to face criticism if he doesn't go ball because he snapped his ankle in half, missed, I don't know, 9 or 10 months, hurt his shoulder in camp, didn't do anything in preseason, and then went out and was balling against the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So you broke your hand and you missed 5 weeks. Whatever. I've seen you miss 10 months. This is a bad defensive football team. If my guy Dakota doesn't go ball out, you will get an apology from me. Glenn. You will get an apology from Glenn.
I think Dak, I think they'll kind of, the word that's been used around Cowboy camp for all players coming back from injury is ramp up. And I think this is a ramp up game. Now, Chicago, I think they go ham. I think you see, I do think you see them go ham against Chicago, and it gets really, really, really ugly against Chicago. But this game, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm looking at this thing way too, I don't know, crazy.
33-23.
I just have a feeling that the Detroit Lions, and I liken this back to my college basketball days. When you walk into the gym and you're not playing Duke or Kentucky or schools of that ilk.
You don't necessarily come out firing.
Well, not that, and that's your Super Bowl. So when you go play St. Mary's, when you go play the school, Mother Seton School of the Directional North South of the Blind,
that's not a school.
Those people look at that like, I don't care if we win another game this year. If we take out North Carolina, That's our season. And I don't know why it's this part of my gut that I just can't get rid of. I'm like, Dan Campbell is going to be so motivated to come back to his old team where he played and he briefly coached there and just have these guys so ramped up of saying, hey, let's go into AT&T Stadium. You hear what the people are saying. They got their quarterback back. They think they're going to just run all over you and ramp it up on you and just turn it up on you. And I think this group is going to be extremely motivated, and you're going to have to put them away.
Yeah,
knock them out.
Yeah, and I think I would lean towards, I think Dan Campbell might be a good coach. Because I don't think the Lions are all that talented. I don't think the Lions are all that good, but I think that Dan Campbell, whether you're looking at Hard Knocks or whether you watch just the way they play every week, without a bunch of ability, like they're scrappy. Outside of last week, boy, Bill Belichick whipped their ass. 0 points. I think going into that game, the Lions had scored more touchdowns than anybody in football. So they're kind of fun. And Dan Campbell, I think, is going to get the most out of people. So I do think they're going to go out there and they're going to fight and they're going to scrap. But if the Cowboys offense doesn't have a good day, I'll be mad at the Cowboys offense. I'll call for Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is 4-1.
Why would you do that?
I would not really. I was just making because Dak would be 0-2 and Cooper's 4-1. I mean, what do you have to play Cooper? No. But I do. I'm going into this one thinking this is going to be the game that afterwards people are going to start talking about Dallas as that real contender where it's like, oh crap, that defense is still here. And now their offense is here. And I don't see a ton of ways that Detroit can limit them. Like, I don't think there's a good corner on the whole team. I hold out hope that Jeff Okudah becomes a good player. His first 2 years were awful. This year's looked better so far. Aiden Hutchinson has 3 sacks, but I think they all came in the same game, and all of them were like he fell into them. So, I don't see a great pass rusher. I don't see good coverage guys. I don't see anything on that defense that's very good. The only test will be, can you force them to throw? And when you do, can you get home? Because the Lions would love to call run plays all day. And Goff's only been sacked 7 times this year. So they've actually done a pretty good job of protecting their quarterback, of scoring points outside of last week, of throwing the ball, of running the ball. They've done all of it pretty well. So the real test, I think, is actually for the Cowboys defense to see, will they stay on that same level with Dak coming back? Actually, let me get your perspective on that. Because I loved what I read that Micah Parsons said. I don't know if I guess it was with Media Around, or maybe one of the players told the media, where he was like, it's great to have you back, Dak. It's still ours, though. Yeah. Like, it's still ours. I don't think this defense, because I do think it would be easy to be like, oh, crap, our offense is finally here. And it's not even a conscious thing. It's not like you'd be like, I'm not going to play as hard. But you're not thinking, crap, we have to carry this thing. But I don't think that'll happen, because I think Micah Parsons, dog. Jaron Curse, dog. Tank Lawrence, mostly dog. I do think that they will keep going. So is this a challenge for them, or do you expect the Cowboys defense to ball out?
I think the challenge is that you got manhandled in certain spots last week against Philly. I think that's still that odor is still around the locker room. You missed 10 tackles and your safety led the team in tackles last week.
Yeah, that's not good. Your free safety.
Your free safety led the team in tackles last week. I think that more than anything is the motivating factor of, wow, we went up against a real opponent last week, and there were moments of that game where we got big boyed. And I think that energy will kind of carry over into this game. But defensively, I think this is no difference in the sense of you're going to have to tackle DeAndre Swift. You're going to have to tackle Williams. What's his name? Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like that, he's not a blazer, but he's a dog. And so these are the players that these guys can go and play, and you're going to have to stop them. And you're going to face an offensive line that arguably could be, not even arguably, it's the top 5 offensive line, maybe even top 3 offensive line in the entire National Football League. It will be the second best offensive line that you faced in consecutive weeks. So I thought, Philly was the first, and now this one. So all of those things come into play, and you got to now meet force with force, because they're going to check your tank. They're going to check your tank and see if you fix what Was it a weak spot a week ago?
Okay, I'm looking up a contract real quick for a certain player in the NFL that I want to see, because that is actually going to take me to the next thing that I want to ask you about, or offer an opinion about. Okay, he's got 1 year left on his deal. Christian McCaffrey got traded. The 49ers will live to regret that. But Christian McCaffrey fantasy owners, if he stays healthy, congratulations. You just won the championship. He's going to do bonkers fun numbers. I want the Cowboys. I say it on the radio in a real awkward way, and people make fun of me because I might have said it last time we talked. I want a big boy. I want just a girthy, huge man on the Cowboys. And now I think I have a name in mind that I wouldn't mind it being. Panthers traded McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson, and maybe their plan is to keep defensive tackle Derrick Brown long-term as part of the piece to their puzzle. I don't know that they're going to purge everything off this roster, but he would have 1 year left next year at $2.3 million. And I think he'd be an upgrade on what you've got next to Osa. Derrick Brown, Carolina. Can we?
We can. I mean, we have $7.5 million of salary cap space going right now. If we wanted to, we most definitely can. And I said this earlier, and this was the offensive guy in me. I was like, boy, and I said this a month ago. I was like, boy, it would sure be nice if the Cowboys could trade for DJ Moore. I would love that addition. But I think this addition of a big, greasy, big, sloppy. We talked about it. I want him almost cholesterol too high fat.
320.
320.
He is literally the only player on the Panthers that is kicking ass.
Just lay in that middle and clog things up and make a car crash. Push the pocket, make two guys have to consistently block you. Because you do that, and the pieces that are around you, when you have to consistently eat up two blocks, you be that big two gapper. You got guys, Dorrance Armstrong, Tank. You got a bunch of dudes around you that will feast on that. And then teams really won't have anywhere to go. They can't go up the middle. They can't go around outside. And once that pressure starts coming up, you won't be able to pass the ball. And that puts you in a situation now where you want to become a serious contender, Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones. You want to really be considered. Not the fluff stuff, not the America's team stuff, not the this is our year. You want to seriously be considered to be a Super Bowl contending team. You go get that thick boy. You go get that thickums. You go get him. Now I'll start looking for Airbnbs in Arizona. For real.
2 C's. Thick with 2 C's.
Yeah,
that's my kind of thick.
What's that give is that
that is what I want the Cowboys to do. Very much so.
My man was in the courtroom with his lawyer. Said she was reading all the things. He said that she was thicker than cold oatmeal. And he's like, that thick.
I hope this doesn't cut off our conversation, Jesse, but because we are doing some very strange things on how we're doing this show right now. But it's time to be real, and when it's time to be real, I have to do it. It's an app I have. Hold on, I gotta lean back here, get you on there, make sure there's nothing that's proprietary on there. To be real. Okay, wait, anything on there? No, we're good. Okay, yeah, we're good. Cheese.
Cool. What is be real? What is that?
So you know how like Instagram is really kind of like poison because people just post their best moments and pretend their life is perfect.
Right.
So Be Real is an app that you get it, and then once a day at a different time every day, it just says it's time to be real, and you take a picture, and it takes a picture of you from the front and wherever you are from the back, and that's it. And then you can add your friends, and you see people's real life as opposed to their glamorous life. I'll be real. Is Jason Peters just going to be a backup? Because I don't think that it doesn't seem like they want to move Tyler. And I don't know if they think he's better than McGovern. Maybe does that just depend on McGovern? Like how does he look? Yeah. Maybe they'll rotate a little bit again this week and we'll just see what happens.
No, I definitely think the one thing that the Cowboys have kind of been consistent in saying is that they want to grow their younger players. For a long, long time, the Cowboys have been very, very deficient on growing their talent.
Man, McGovern doesn't count, does he?
I don't know. I guess. Let my point. Just let me ride with this point. I don't know.
I wouldn't count him. And you know what? I don't mean to do that because that is dismissive and that is rude. And he's a human. I'm just saying, if you're getting towards the end of your rookie deal and you've yet to really even take a starting job, like I don't think I'm prioritizing your development. But maybe Peters isn't very good at guard, and I overrated what I saw when Tony Pollard ran for 60 yards as soon as he came in the game.
Well, but then it goes back to a lot of times when no one has any film when you playing that position, and then now once guys kind of get a little bit of a beat on you, and what do you expect from Jason Peters? Honestly, 40-year-old dude who to for upon playing that position, he only played guard for one snap in his illustrious career. He had 1,200 snaps at tackle, one snap at guard.
One at left, sir. He played some right guard one year, and he was not good at it.
One at left
guard. He was not good at it.
One at left guard. And, I mean, you couldn't expect him to be a Pro Bowl at that position. So, and he hasn't been good this year. He really hasn't. And it's tough to move, and then he gets hurt, and that's what 40-year-old dudes do. They eventually get hurt at some point in time during the year. So, I mean, I think for Tyler Smith, he is going to stay at that position, and we're going to continue to see him develop and work. And I think Jason Peters is just there, break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah. Well, as long as somebody gets the job done, I just don't want to have a kind of iffy. Like I think Terrence Steele's done a great job so far this year. I think Tyler Smith, I would say if you say, is he sinking or swimming? At least he's swimming, but I don't think he's been great. Like they're kind of getting by on the offensive line. And I don't know what you're going to do to really improve it other than just hope that Tyler Smith continues to get better and hope that left guard plays okay. I'm happy with right guard and right tackle, obviously. I'm okay with left tackle. I'm okay with center. I guess I don't really have much to complain about. I guess that'll work. Hey, Dak, that's good enough.
What's funny is that you and others are spoiled.
I've never been spoiled, sir. We grew up. I was spoiled once I was turned like 10 or 11. We got some money, but the first 9 years, I'll have you know, I was hungry. Okay.
Yeah, your uncle has a yacht. You guys.
He didn't have that yacht when I was 9. He had it when I was 10.
But we've been so spoiled for a long time with the ability for the Cowboys to have a really good offensive line, have really good.
Oh, you mean Tyron Smith, Ron Leary, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and Doug Free or whatever?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It was pretty good.
And most NFL teams don't have 5 legitimate, top 25 players, top 10 players at their position. Most offensive lines, you may have 1 or 2, but for a long time, you're talking about you had 3 perennial Pro Bowlers. You can almost, until they change it, you can be like, hey, Tyron, Travis, and Zach, in February, you guys will be going to Hawaii for this game that they call the Pro Bowl. It doesn't really matter, but just know you might as well get an Airbnb out there for the next couple years. And so we've been so accustomed to that, and now that we have to do what regular teams do, is kind of put pieces together and maybe have a Pro Bowl piece or a fringe Pro Bowl player on the offensive line. And that's what you have to just deal with. And the Cowboys are at that position right now. It's interesting, and I've said this on air about when Tyron Smith comes back, because I truly believe Tyron Smith has played his last game in a Cowboys uniform.
I mean, if they're not going to move Tyler Smith now, what are they going to do? Move him in week 15 when he's been playing tackle for 14 weeks? No. Even if Tyron came back, what's he doing? They're not moving Tyler Smith.
Go make him play guard like you made the other 40-year-old dude do.
Oh, jeez. You know what? I kind of believe Hall of Famers could do that, but Jason Peters couldn't so far.
Can I ask a question? And this is biased, but we say that Tyron Smith is a surefire Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Why don't we say that about my good friend Nate Newton? Is it because of the off-field stuff?
I don't really know. Here's the thing, Jesse. I'm not quite old enough. I can look up Nate Newton. I know that he kicked ass.
I
I
mean,
had to see what he's got. He's got 2 first-team All-Pros,
6
6
Pro
Pro
Bowls,
Bowls.
and
All
then
right,
he
well, get
got
ready for
not
Tyron
one,
Smith. I'm about to
not
rip off
2.
Tyron Smith's.
He has 7.
Tyron Smith has 8 Pro Bowls and 4 All-Pros. So
Yeah.
2 more All-Pros, 2 more Pro Bowls. That's why
And-
he's a Hall of Famer.
And Tyron Smith didn't block for the all-time leading rusher in the NFL history. Tyron Smith does not have 1 Super Bowl ring, let alone 2 Super Bowl rings, let alone 3 Super Bowl rings. I mean, that at some point in time, we got to look at those things and go, 6 Pro Bowls, 2 All-Pros. I blocked for the leading rusher in the NFL history that probably will never get broken again.
Yeah, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I think 20 minutes and 30 seconds in is a great time for you to start hating. Start hating on Tyron for no reason. No, I'm going to view this as you loving Nate and trying to promote your friend Nate.
Absolutely love Nate. I don't like the fact that we throw, Pro Bowl. I'm like, wait a second. If we look at the numbers, Nate
has a 4-time All-Pro. Like, I don't care about Pro Bowls. Like, All-Pro is real life. That means that you are like 2-time first team. That means they were saying you're the best left tackle in football twice, and you're one of the 2 best twice. And then the other 4 years, I'm sure they would have said he was 3rd. Like, I don't know. I mean, and I don't care about team success at all. Like, it ain't up to Tyron who's running behind him. It ain't up to Tyron who's on the team. Congrats to Nate. You played on a team because you traded Herschel Walker that had 76 Hall of Famers. Congrats. Your team won a bunch because you had the best team and Tyron didn't. Leave me alone. Blame Tony, okay? Blame the quarterback if you want to blame somebody. Leave Tyron out of this crap.
Maybe Tyron blocked better more consistently that Tony would have got more success. I don't know.
Yeah, and then DeMarco Murray would have been the NFL's all-time leading rusher.
There you go. Maybe.
I hate you. Final thoughts. Cowboys 33, Lions 23.
I got more of a low-scoring game. I got Cowboys 24, Lions 14.
I would love if they hold them to 14. It feels weird, but I respect the Lions offense. It feels weird.
Say it out loud 10 times. It still doesn't sound right, right? When you hear it.
I respect the Jared Goff-led Lions offense.
That doesn't even sound like a good thing to say out loud. But when you go and you watch it, you go, you know what? And the running game has helped the running game has helped Goff a lot because he's not put in a position to have to turn the ball over.
Yeah, but I mean, even a couple of those games, the one where they lost 40-something to 40-something against Seattle, and then another one where it was like 38-35, they were down 20 in the fourth quarter in those. And to some people, you say that's garbage time. Well, in garbage time against New England, when they lost 29-0, he couldn't do anything. But against those teams, they threw the ball and scored points.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's going to be interesting. I think the Cowboys win. I don't think it's as clear-cut, especially early in the game. I think it's a back and forth early in the game, and then things kind of settle and the cream rises to the top, and those gaps in that defense for the Lions begin to show, and the Cowboys take advantage of it. So
trade for Derrick Brown. And remember, thanks to Bet Online. The show is presented by Bet Online. Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. So be cool to everyone. We love you.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Eliminate the damn contingencies, for crying out loud.